How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you enjoyed the video that I recently uploaded on YouTube, and I know, finally, right? So I would like to go over a few things about the knife, what happened, why the heat treat failed, maybe what parts I used on the knife and materials, and the design of the knife. So first of all, let's start with the steel. Way back I bought a lot of 5160 leaf spring steel from a local truck shop that, they make leaf springs, and I wanted to make the knife out of a leaf spring, and when I grabbed the first piece, I cut off a little piece off of it and heated it up, dipped it in the water, and checked it with the file just to make sure it hardened, and it did. And so I started video recording how I was working on it and making it. And I noticed when I got to the drill press and I started drilling, the metal was a little bit bent. And I tried bending it back out and it didn't work, so I just threw it away. Grabbed another piece, and I didn't cut off a piece off of it to heat it up and dip it in the water to heat treat it just to see if it hardens. And I guess that piece, I don't know if it is 5160 or not, but 5160 is alloy steel, and you need a oven to heat treat it to get the most out of the steel, and you need to soak the steel, basically keep it in the oven for like 15 minutes and then quench it in oil. And it is not the same when you do with the propane forge, so maybe that's why it failed to heat treat. But I finally grabbed my 1075 steel out of the stockpile that I have and made a knife out of it. I used 3/16 inch thick steel, whereas the 5160, or whichever mysterious steel it was about close to 1/4 inch, and it felt better in the hand. I don't know if you could see it on the video. Hopefully you could see the difference in thickness, and when you hold it, it just feels better than 3/16. I mean, 3/16 is still pretty good, but in my opinion, I think the 1/4 inch thick steel, and this is not even 1/4 inch, it's just shy of 1/4 inch thick, but it just feels better in the hand. So I think if I was gonna to make another one, I would go with 1/4 inch thick steel. I often get questions, how do I come up with the design of the my knives and stuff? So it actually is a long process. Sometimes it's a quick idea that pops in my head and I draw it up and it works, but this one, it started way back. If you guys follow me for a while, remember when I made a knife for a British infantry soldier, and he sent me a sketch, a hand drawing, what he wanted the knife to look like, and from there I redrew it to make sure it matches his specs and everything. And I made that knife and I really enjoyed it, and that was a 1/4 inch 01 tool steel. From there I wanted to make like a fancy knife, and basically I drew this knife right here, and from there I drew this knife. Still I like this one more, didn't like this one, so from there came this drawing. I wanted to make like a tactical knife, and I showed it to my coworker, and he said, hey, what if you reduce the width of the, bring this portion up higher? And from there I drew this one right here, and this one I want to make with hollow grind and a flat grind. After I drew this one up, I started playing around, and I drew a line from here, like a smooth line, and I ended up with a knife that right now, basically I came up with the knife that you actually saw in the video, and this is it right here. So from there, what happened was I was holding, basically when I started with the 2-inch radiuses right here, as you could see in this sketch. Both of these are 2-inch radiuses. So when I started grinding after the heat treat, I ground this one, and when I started grinding this one, I had the handles on and I didn't see where this part ends, and I ground too far by accident. So now you could see that there's a 2-inch radius and this one's like almost a 3 or more. But this mistake made me think, when I hold the knife in my hand, this meaty part right here, it wants almost for me to grind back a little further up to here. This way this portion of the meat or the hand, it sits in there. It has a place to sit comfortably. And that is where I came up, I redrew and I came up with this design where the meaty part would sit right here. Also, I changed the handle shape, whereas it was this like this in the front and just a basic like an oval shape, curved shaped a little bit, but I changed it up right here. Also, I redrew the finger part, and I'm still battling or debating how to redo this part, because when you hold it, let me show it this way. When you hold it, this part right here does not feel comfortable. So, but I mean, if you grab it this way, it feels good in the hand. But if you want to, it feels natural to put the thumb in this section, and this part right here kind of feels rough. Maybe if I round it off. Also, this steel is less than a 3/16 thick. See the difference? So maybe because it is thinner steel, it doesn't feel good. If it was 1/4 inch, I would have probably more metal to have my finger rest or the thumb rest on, and it would feel better, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm still gonna try it out, make it out of 1/4 inch, grind this off more, and hopefully this will be the style that I go with, the final style. Another suggestion I can give you when you design your knives is, I draw up my knives and I hang them on the wall. This way I see them every day, and I look at them every day multiple times, and when I see something that maybe pops in my head that I need to change something, I just go up to a wall and redraw it or add a different shape to the knife drawing, and that's how I basically upgrade or update the shape of the knife. To drill the 1-inch holes, I use the Dewalt Mandrel. I bought it on Amazon, and it cost me around somewhere around $30 or $35. I started using the drill press, but it didn't have enough torque to spin the bit, so I went and grabbed my handheld drill and put it on the lowest setting, and that's how I got the holes done. But yeah, it worked pretty well. The owner chose to use the carbon fiber handles for this knife, or his knife, and I bought them from carbonwaves.com, and this person is located in Norway. They're not cheap, but they look very nice. Now, this is the first time I've been working with carbon fiber, and it comes in, one side is all finished beautifully, the other side looks like that. And like I said, I haven't worked with this material before, but I thought that when I finished my handle it would look like this, but as you could tell, it doesn't. So I'm thinking that if you could tell the layering You see how it's not straight? So I believe that this was the bottom piece when they layered all the fiberglass, and then when they put the resin in, they squeezed it or pressed it. That's why you have a nice finish here. But then if you look through the waves, all the carbon fibers start to wave this way. That's what happens when you start to hand sand and finish. You don't get that nice glossy finish that you had when it was originally made. But I still like it, and I'm leaning actually more towards the hand sand finish versus the gloss finish. I used the Birchwood Casey True Oil, and I think I applied 4 or 5 coats on it. But it makes the fiberglass pop, or you know, kind of have a 3D effect. It's still nice, but I think I like the other, in my personal opinion, I like the other finish. Whereas, you know, take it up to 1000 grit with the hand sanding. Also, when you guys are working with carbon fiber, make sure you guys use a mask, goggles or safety glasses, and make sure you guys use gloves. I started working without gloves, and a bunch of little particles got into my finger through the pores, and my fingers just wanted to itch. So yeah, make sure you guys use gloves. The screws that hold the handles on this knife, I bought those from USA Knifemaker, and they come in male and female. But the thing is that they both have different heads, and I like this one more than this one. They're about $4 each, and after I finished the knife, I had an idea. Why not use both female heads and use an all thread? So basically have a female, have an all thread. Let's see. Have an all thread, and then use another female to go on the thread. This way both sides will have identical heads. I know it's a little bit more pricey, but you know, and also you would have to trim the width of the female. This way when you insert it into the, you know, through the handle, you wouldn't have one side sticking out past the steel. This way both screws or bolts, whatever, you know, they would be sitting just inside the steel. The counter bore, I bought it from msdirect.com. It is 3/8 outside and 5, so basically 3/8 and 5/16 is the pilot hole, and I think I paid $40 for the. It's a 2-piece because different screws come with different size head and a pilot hole. So this part right here was separate purchase from this. This way, you know, if your pilot hole is a 1/4 inch, then you would buy a 1/4 inch piece. The sheath was made from the Holstex. It's a carbon fiber pattern, and I used Tech-Lock for the belt clip, standard. And finally I sprayed the whole metal with EDCI spray to protect it from the rust. And that's it, guys. Hopefully I covered everything about this knife. And let me know if you guys like this side of the screws or this side. Like I said, I personally like these because they have depth to them, where these don't have that opening. But I guess it's everyone's personal preference. But yeah. And now I have to go back and start finishing all these knives. This is the one that's going to be in the video, hopefully next. And yeah, I got lots of knives to finish for customers. And these are all CPM 154, so I have to hand sand all of them, ship them out for the heat treat. Now, this one I have to finish all the way before I send it out for heat treat, because after that I won't be able to drill anything or shape it, so it's going to take a while. So this one's going to be completely done, and then I'll ship it out. And this is going to be hopefully the next video. It might take a while, but this is the one. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.